Hello, this is the Symmetric Cryptography Lab using Mcrypt. So it also is listed as the Mcrypt Lab. So I'm already logged into the Cyber Basics environment at the US Cyber Range. And if you have your instructions with you, that's where I'm going to start off. We are on task 1, which has to do with getting set up and installing Mcrypt because it's not installed by default. So you need your terminal window open. And we're just going to type in a couple of commands here so we can get started. So get update and just give it a minute to read and install that package. And then we'll do this. And it looks like we're all ready to go. All right, so that's what your screen should look like. If you got a do you want to continue and you need to hit yes or no, just hit yes in case it needs to install an update. If you want to get a little help at this point, like you're a little bit curious about Mcrypt, you can type in Mcrypt and help, and it lets you see some of the parameters that you can use with Mcrypt. But we're just going to move right along and follow the instructions that are in the lab. Okay. So what does Mcrypt do? We can type in Mcrypt list, and it shows us the different techniques, encryption that we can use. If you've done some cryptography in the past, you might be familiar with some of these, like you might recognize DES and triple DES, or you might recognize two-fish, for instance, but those are the different techniques that are available for symmetric encryption here. So the next thing we need, so this is just the setup part of the lab. The next part of the lab is, okay, let's take a text file and let's encrypt it so that we could share it. So we could either, share some information that we want to keep private, or maybe we have some information on our computer that we prefer that prying eyes can't get into, right? So let's move on ahead with that. So in your instructions, there's a command you can type in to get a file. And at the end of the lab, I'll show you how you could just create your own file and encrypt it if that's what you want to do. But we can get a file. We can just say it's artifacts, Virginia Cyber Range. We're just specifying the path to get that file, GenCyber, and the name of the file is textfile1.txt. So we can hit enter. And you might think, well, do we actually have that file now? So you could type in cat textfile1.txt, and that's what the file says. This is a sample text file for encryption, decryption. If you wanted to actually see where the file is, I could open up and go to the student folder, and there it is right there, textfile1.txt. Let me move that one to trash. There we go. So that's the one we want, textfile1.txt. All right, so we've got a file now, and we need to make it private, secret. So this is what we'll do. We're going to type in Mcrypt, just like that. And then we need to tell it the name of the file that we want to encrypt. I'm just going to say mcrypt textfile1.txt and hit enter. And now it says, okay, we need a passphrase. So what is the secret key that is going to lock, and then that same key can be used to unlock? And you can use upper and lowercase letters and numbers. And so you can type in whatever you want here. I'm going to type in, now it's going to ask for that same passphrase again. And if they both match up, text file 1 has now been encrypted. So to see the encrypted file, we type in cat text file 1 txt.nc. And now when I look at that file, it is unrecognizable, right? You're going to just see some unusual looking characters there. And that's the encrypted file. So I can actually do this now. I can remove text file 1 txt. I can delete that file. If I do list to list files, I now see the encrypted file, text file 1.txt.nc, but the original file is now gone. I've deleted it. And so now I want to, because I have an encrypted file, if I decrypt that file, I can get my information, right? So let's decrypt the file. And the command is just this simple, mcrypt, use the D parameter, text file 1 txt.nc to decrypt it. It's going to ask for the passphrase. And it tells me that I have now decrypted that file. So now if I run the list command again, I can see that I've got my encrypted file still there. And now I've got text file 1.txt because I've decrypted it. All right. So if I'd like to see that file, let's make sure nothing's happened to the contents there. I can type in cat text file 1.txt. And sure enough, I see the original text that I had there. So that's all there is. My little secret passphrase is the key that can lock or unlock that text file. If you wanted to create your own file instead of using the one provided, you could launch LeafPad and you could type in your own secret messages, whatever you want them to be, and then just, save that file as my secrets, whatever you want to call it, .txt. Oh, let me put it in a folder. And so that's how you could go on ahead and do this lab. So now I've got my secrets.txt. I could go back through those steps again, and I could set up a passphrase for this file and encrypt it and do the lab all over again if that's what you would choose to do. All right, so that's our introduction to symmetric cryptography.